I listen to ESPN for an hour, it's like watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's the same drama and they're yelling at each other and they don't get along. I mean, Stephen A. Smith, he's just like every other
he'd
talk
be a
show
great
host.
Real Housewife.
Stephen A., is that what you was mad at? Is that what you was mad at? You don't think you would make a good housewife? Ain't you the same one who parades around in front of Cowboys fans like this?
Hey, get your numbers up.
You don't think that's how they enter those reunions? Shout out to all of the subscribers and the members here on the channel. I'm Reese Waters, and this is Street Politics. Now, when we last heard from Stephen A. Smith,
I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN.
No, not you. Stephen A. Yeah, we talking about Stephen A. right now. I can't get a video about you cleared. When we last heard from Stephen A. Smith, he was leaving the door open for a run to the White House.
Are you really thinking about running for president? Is this something you think?
Listen, I have no choice because I've had elected officials, and I'm not going to give their names, elected officials coming up to me. I've had folks who are pundits come up to me. I've had folks that got a lot of money, billionaires and others, that have talked to me about exploratory committees and things of that nature. People have walked up to me, including my own pastor, for crying out loud, who has said to me, you don't know what God has planned for you. At least show the respect to the people who believe in you, who respect you, who believe that you can make a difference in this country, to leave the door open for any possibilities 2 to 3 years down the line. But in the same breath, when you think about what Trump is getting away with, when you think about what you brought up about Steve Bannon, who's trying to be slick because he's looking at a non-political individual like myself, looking at me as a populist, but you better be careful what you ask for, because some of the stuff that Trump and the right has been trying to get away with, like circumventing the 22nd Amendment of the Constitution, talking about how there could be a third term. If any GOP member, if any Republican supports that, I don't want to hear a word out of their mouth ever again about the following the Constitution, the Constitution, the Constitution. That's what they've been living off for years. Because I don't mind the thought of tussling with these folks at all, on the left or the right. All of them disgust me, to be quite honest with you.
And if there's anything that Stephen A's learned from Trump, there is no run to the White House complete without attacking the former occupants of the White House. So imagine my reaction when I saw this. Michelle Obama is laughing. Stephen A. Smith tries to fire back after Michelle Obama shades first take. What he brought up instead left fans confused. An unexpected online back and forth between former First Lady Michelle Obama and ESPN personality Stephen A. Smith has become a trending topic. Obama brought up Smith during a recent episode of her IMO podcast, which is co-hosted by Michelle's brother, ex-college basketball coach Craig Robinson. Now I get why Stephen A's mad. I get why he's mad, because it's not because of Michelle, it's because of Craig. Because he sees ex-college basketball coach, and then that takes him back to his own college basketball experience. Yeah, that was... And we would call that an experience, not a career. That would be, kind of like how you have a day experience. That was an experience. Let's hear what she said.
I listen to ESPN for an hour, it's like watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I mean, it's the same drama and they're yelling at each other and they don't get along. I mean, Stephen A. Smith, he's just like every other talk show host.
Real Housewife.
He would be.
Right.
It
would be amazing.
So that's why I'm like, what's the difference? It's just, it's just sociological drama. I mean, the fact that people over seasons of working together still can't get along.
Right.
They still have the same arguments.
Stephen A., is that what you was mad at? Is that what you was mad at? You don't think you would make a good housewife? Ain't you the same one who parades around in front of Cowboys fans like this?
Hey, get your numbers up.
You don't think that's how they enter those reunions? You don't think that's how they enter those reunions? Talking about having the same arguments. Ain't you the same one that made your tiff with LeBron about the fact that you thought Michael Jordan was better? Because apparently that was something that needed to be rehabbed. Isn't that you? And I would also say, similar to what she's saying about Real Housewives, people be disappearing for no reason. You know, the housewives just pop up and disappear. Yeah, people be disappearing for no reason. That's what Skip Bayless, and then that's what happened to Max Kellerman. Yeah, yes. Also you, Shannon. Well, if you're going to include Shannon Sharp, then technically that would make it Bad Girls Club. Get out.
Call the police. Call who y'all want to call, because this is what's going to go on all mother day. Come on now. Wake up.
Now, when it comes to drama and getting out of the realm of basketball and analysis, aren't you the same one that said that you would have swung on LeBron? Didn't that happen just this past season?
That man put his hands on me, I would have immediately swung on him. Immediately.
Had LeBron out here posting video clips of you boxing.
Yeah, make it more free. Yeah, push.
Yeah, that was you. And then you were also the one that threatened Kevin Durant. Now, didn't you?
Don't want to make an enemy out of me. And I'm looking right into the camera, and I'm going to say it again. You do not want to make an enemy out of me. Do you really want me to come out of this seat and go back on the scene? I am a black man on national television with a big mouth.
You threatened KD and you threatened LeBron. You know, you should go at Steph Curry and just hit all the three greats of this era. Smith got wind of Obama's remarks comparing his work on ESPN's First Take program as a bombastic analyst to the dramatics of Real Housewives of Atlanta stars like Nene Leakes, Kandi Burruss, and Portia Williams. On August 2nd, Smith took time on the Stephen A. Smith Show to address what Obama had to say about him on her podcast. The New York City native's response took a more political turn by bringing up former Vice President Kamala Harris's losing campaign in the 2024 presidential election. Kamala Harris gonna have to go down there. You know what I mean? She gonna have to go down there. That's what it's gonna come to.
This is what my opinion is. Don't tell me that the extreme left, with the cancer culture, with people getting in trouble for saying the wrong pronoun, with men transitioning to women, playing in women's sports, had nothing to do with it.
Okay. I won't tell you that it had nothing to do with it. It definitely had something to do with it because of disingenuous media members like you consistently talking about incidents that affect almost nobody. Who are these mythical, magical people getting canceled for not using the right pronouns? Meanwhile, Trump just celebrated a show actually being canceled last week. What are we talking about?
Go fuck yourself!
You know why? You know why it was an issue? Because of people like you.
In the end, you had tens of millions of Americans saying enough of this shit. Donald Trump might be crazy in their eyes, but at least his crazy returns us to a level of normalcy we're accustomed to.
So let's see exactly what normalcy looks like, shall we? Let's look at what normalcy looks like. The politicization of the Justice Department, replacing career officials in the government with loyalists to Trump.
I know it's tough doing what's hard, but we could use more men like you in this time.
Whoa! What the f***? Your Botox, Miss Nom?
Oh yeah, fix me up.
And if you question that, Caroline Leavitt will say herself exactly who all those people work for. We talked about investigations into President Biden, members of the January 6th committee, journalists, and Obama himself. How about that? You have a crackdown on civil liberties as well as human rights, while the U.S. was added to the CIVIC U.S.'s Global Human Rights Watch List in mid-2025. And you know why? Militarized police response to protests, surveillance and arrests of journalists and activists, and defunding of public media and cultural institutions. Ah, yes. The normalcy of an ICE raid at Home Depot. How about that? The normalcy of empty farms and crops just rotting on the vine because people are afraid to go to work. The normalcy of journalists being sued for doing their job or activists being deported. The normalcy of people that are legally in this country or actual U.S. citizens being stopped and detained because of open racial profiling. Ah, yes. Feels so good to see that normalcy again. The normalcy of Sesame Street being threatened and the closing of the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Ah, yes. That is normal, huh? That is pretty normal. How about the normalcy of some 30,000 federal workers being removed under loyalty reviews or performance cuts, or the normalcy of unelected bureaucrats like Elon Musk having access to our private information while programs like Medicaid or threatened USAID shut down? How about the normalcy of the Smithsonian having to remove specific exhibits that he himself happens to disagree with, or the censorship at the Kennedy Center? Ah, yes. We can't even be distracted anymore. How about the normalcy of not being able to trust the information that's coming from our government anymore? I believe he just fired the guy who was in charge of labor statistics because the job numbers hurt his feelings.
The NASDAQ down about 200 going. 73,000 jobs. 73,000 jobs created in the month of July. Number just coming out.
And that's total.
4.2% is the unemployment rate, right in line with expectations. Here are the numbers. For the month of July, jobs came in at 73,000. That was lower than the expectation, which called for 110,000 jobs. The unemployment rate right in step with expectations at 4.2%. Steve Moore, your reaction.
Look, I think this is all a result, this disappointing number is a result of all the turmoil over tariffs and the trade wars. And
I want to push back on that. I think this is more about the Federal Reserve. Again, we've got a bifurcated economy. The Fed they have a regressive approach here, right? They're trying to still clamp down on this economy, but it's not working. It's hurting 70% of the folks out there. Look at delinquencies. Look at all of the things that are hurting the average household, I think, and also small businesses.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
How about the normalcy of cuts to FEMA? And trying to distract people from what happened in a flood because of those cuts to FEMA by bringing up Epstein. The normalcy of sending Congress home early because you don't want them to gain any traction in trying to reveal who's actually on the Epstein list. The normalcy of feuds with people like Charlemagne the God and Jon Stewart, and the normalcy of people in your own party sounding the whistle and saying we need to do something or this might be the end of our republic.
Tell you what, 6 months in, Steve, and here we are turning back on the campaign promises, and we bombed Iran on behalf of Israel. Yes, it was on behalf of Israel. We're entering a nuclear war, the World War III, because the entire world is going to erupt And you want to know the people that are cheering it on right now? Their tune is going to drastically change the minute we start seeing flag draped coffins on the nightly news, on Fox News that brainwashes all the baby boomers, and on CNN that brainwashes all the Democrat baby boomers. And that is exactly how this is going to go down.
How about the normalcy of No Kings protests? Yeah, I remember all those No Kings protests that we always had during the Biden years.
I would like to see you, Madam First Lady, Mrs. Michelle Obama, I would like to see you have some people on your podcast with dissenting opinions, dare I say. That would be nice. So they could have an opportunity to clap back if you say something. It just would be nice, you know. I mean, I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. I mean, is that why you go on Fox News all the time? That would make sense. That was why you go. But then again, that's because you're a friend. Yeah, because of your friend Sean Hannity. Yeah.
Everyone that interviews me, they want to know, why are you friends with Stephen A. Smith? And I go to bat for you, and I spend hours defending you.
Michelle Obama, I want to take this opportunity to remind you that while you are revered by me personally, and I truly, truly mean that with the greatest sincerity, I'm still a bit salty at you. When you were campaigning on behalf of the former Vice President Kamala Harris, who I'll get into in a minute, by the way, and you were giving a speech, I believe it was in Detroit, if I remember correctly, but I'm not sure. It was in the middle of the day. It was carried live. You said a vote for Trump was a vote against you and a vote against y'all as women.
Oh, yeah. We remember. She killed it on the campaign trail.
So please do not hand our fates over to the likes of Trump, who knows nothing about us, who has shown deep contempt for us. Because a vote for him is a vote against us, against our health, against our worth.
I want to state for the record, I took major offense to that. Black men don't just love our black women. We revere y'all. You've practically raised most of us. Think about the most hardcore individual you can find who is a black man from the streets of America. If there is one person who can walk up to him and slap him silly and get away with it, it's his mama or his grandma.
Okay. Let me ask you this, Stephen A. Have you seen the manosphere recently? Huh? Have you taken a look at Red Pill, YouTube recently? Because it's pretty integrated. It's pretty integrated. Yeah. If you can hate women, they will love you over there regardless of your race. That is something that we absolutely know. So, given the fact that you have that very real contingent of black folks, then why would you feel the need to holler as such a hit dog when she said a vote for them is a vote against us, when you know that contingency exists?
It's who we are. And to say what you said back then, I think to this day is the only thing that I didn't like that you said. I didn't appreciate it. Because there's so many things that go into deciding where your vote is going to go. For some people, it's all about the economy.
The economy. Well, with the economy. What else you got?
For others, it's all about national security.
National security? You mean Hexa? Hexa? That kind of national security? Okay. All right.
For some people, it is immigration.
Okay. Immigration. Okay. That is cool. So these would be the same folks that were taking shots at Biden because of his deportations, right? And because they can't keep a consistent narrative, whether or not Biden was deporting all these people, or whether or not Obama was the deporter in chief and whatnot. And you can't keep a consistent narrative about that. Trump, one thing we know is he wants to make sure that the cruelty of what he's doing is on display at all times. So I don't know if it's about the efficiency, but the cruelty is there. So I don't think you should say immigration. You should just say cruelty.
For some people, it's safety in the streets of America.
Safety in the streets of America. Oh, so you mean like the statistics, the information that was put out all last year, the FBI statistics talking about how much safer American cities were that Trump refused to acknowledge. And now you see what he does when he has control and access over the information. When there's information that he doesn't like, you mean like that?
For some people, it's all about the economy. For others, it's all about national security. For some people, it is immigration. For some people, it's safety in the streets of America. Long before they think about pro-choice or pro-life.
Ah, okay. So your point is about specifically reproductive rights and how that was not at the forefront of people's minds, because that's all of the blinders that you want to put on in order to make that point. But they're all things that we could have predicted before he took office, because that's how he's been moving this entire time. So if you, in fact, wanted to make a legitimate argument that you didn't want to vote for Kamala Harris because of the litany of reasons that you just articulated, there's only one way in which that is not a vote against women. And that's because it's a vote against minorities. That's it. That's all you got.
I'm talking about men. There's a reason why Trump got about 57% and Kamala Harris ended up with 42, even though Biden had won the young male vote 4 years earlier. Because life changes and other issues become more pertinent to people.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's why we get a FAFO video every day now. Yeah. What was that? That was more pertinent? Oh, let me show you how that's on fire. Yeah, I know. And it was definitely, a great credit. I can totally understand why Trump would handpick you to run for the nomination, because you did your work. You definitely did your work.
Stephen A. Smith may run for president, as you know. Do you have any advice for Stephen A. If he launches the run?
No, Stephen A. He's a good guy. He's a smart guy. I love watching him. He's got great entertainment skills, which is very important. People watch him. A lot of these Democrats I watch, I say they have no chance. I've been pretty good at picking people and picking candidates, and I will tell you, I'd love to see him run.
All right, there you go.
By the way, while you're here talking to Michelle Obama, you might want to close the daisy chain, because I last brought her up when I did the video about Candace Owens, who you have indeed had on your show. Strangely enough, you didn't ask her about any of that French First Lady stuff. Yeah, that's gone badly.
We got an estimate this weekend from a legal team. It is going to cost us millions. I don't have that money. I really don't. I got to tell you, the estimate that we got, and I want to be clear, this is if it goes all the way through. So they said, from start to finish, if they don't drop this at some point, blah, 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 here's how much it's going to cost you just to get through the deposition phase, how much it's going to cost you to go all the way through. And they are estimating $5 million. It's like a lot of money. And we do not have that money just laying around. We could actually sell some t-shirts. I just picture people wearing this like at the grocery store, like walking by each other, and like, we know what it means.
Now, I brought up Michelle Obama in that particular video because I thought she might be interested in the grounds for a lawsuit for the MAGAs that you love to attract so much. Candace probably knows. So if you could go ahead and close the loop on that situation, I would appreciate that. And also, I would also send Candace a note. Tell her that Nick Fuentes is looking for her.
I was 17. What's your excuse? You know, you got married later than me. You got red-pilled later than me. You became a truth teller later than me, and you haven't gone through a fraction of what I've gone through. And she wants to call me out. That's what she texted me. She goes, "I'm calling you out." And my response to that is, bitch, you have no right to call me out. And maybe it's time for you as a woman to sit down and shut the fuck up. That's me, a man. You want to say, make me a sandwich? Okay, this is me, a man, telling you, a woman, to sit down and shut the f*** up before you call out anybody else. Sit down and shut the f*** up, bitch. I'm so sick of it. She's got her book, Make Me a Sandwich. That's the book cover. Her book cover is her sitting cross-legged. I'm going to sit her book is her sitting cross-legged, make him a sandwich. Okay. You want that, huh? All right. Well, hey, listen, daddy's home. Hey, a real man is home. I'm pulling up my sleeves. You want to call me out? Sit down and shut the f*** up, bitch. That's what a man has to say. And make me a sandwich and make it good. Why don't you observe the fact that while you had a contract at Daily Wire, Turning Point USA, InfoWars, book deals, and by the way, because you're a black woman, because you are a semi-articulate black woman, you're like Obama. She don't talk with that Negro dialect. She was a black woman who did the conservative grift, and she rode that tokenism doing fucking Blexit for 10 years, making millions of dollars, and then married into a wealthy family, and then discovered there's something going on with Israel after only everybody started to notice. Now you want to call me out, the OG?
Black MAGA's down bad. And yes, that includes your beloved Byron Donalds. Byron Donalds, who's running for Florida governor, is the focus of concerns about vetting of him and those around him. The politician endorsed by Donald Trump for governor is facing questions over his longtime aide, an accused offender who's made racial comments about that kind of activity. Byron Donalds, a 3-term Republican congressman, was endorsed by Trump for the Florida gubernatorial race in February, making him a strong contender for a contest that doesn't take place until next year. But Daily Beast has learned there's concerns in Republican circles about Donald's long relationship with Larry Wilcoxon, who's been described as his right-hand man for more than a decade, and about the lack of vetting of Donald's candidacy in its entirety. The president did not properly vet him, a prominent Trump supporter said of Donald's, specifically noting his close relationship to Wilcoxon. Ooh, Trump didn't properly vet Donald's. Wow, Byron. Wow, that's worse than what Ron DeSantis said about you. He just said you was lazy. Now they in Trump circles talking about he don't really know Byron like that. You know what I mean? Because Byron, he from a different neighborhood. He be having all kind of people around. And you know, we told Byron, you got to cut ties with those kind of people. They going to throw Wilcoxon out like they did Jazz in The Fresh Prince.
The oboes will be coming next.
Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out. And special shout out to those of you that have given me such warm feedback for the newsletter. That really means a lot because I know how hard Regina works on that. It's something we thought would add a lot of value to the channel. If you have any thoughts on additions or suggestions for the newsletter, you could hit me up at admin@reesewaters.com.
Okay, here it is. Check it out. I got it. Why don't we open up a take-in restaurant?
And if you haven't gotten a chance to check it out, you can over at patreon.com/ReeseWaters. You can sign up for a free account and that will give you access to the monthly newsletter. There's also the weekly newsletter that is part of the offerings in deep water and troubled water.
If you don't want to play that way, don't play that way. Break.
Also a part of those offerings, merch discounts. Those will be coming soon and those can be accessed either on Patreon or membership right here on YouTube. And there's some new merch that's about to hit the website. Just stay tuned. That is ReeseWaters.com.
I got one more idea. Rent-a-spoons. Yeah, see, we serve them soup for free. Rent 'em spoons.
Is that a racist of the week? I tell you, like, I catch 3 and it's always one roaming around, you know what I mean? They reproduce like bunnies.
Congratulations!
What is it with America and racism? They just can't give it up, like apple pie and baseball and second families. I'm gonna start a new account if y'all keep playing. No, I'm serious. I'm already stacking them. You get a racist of the week, you get a racist of the week, you get a racist of the week. I'm out here making it rain like it's Magic City. But for racists.